So in the background, there's Little League World Series playing, and no, I'm not turning it off because it's a very good game between Washington and Connecticut right now. It's one of the playoff games. But this is another topic that is becoming more and more, I don't know, dividing between people. It's becoming a strained thing. It's kind of coming to a meeting point. It used to not have two distinct sides. People used to be more one-sided on this view, but there's a separation, and I understand the separation, and I'm going to talk about where I fall on the separation now. And that topic is, should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. No, I'm not talking about the song, of course. I'm talking about the mentality. For people in these horrific states like New York and California, they have the debate with others and maybe with their own personal self. Should I stay and fight the good fight? Because if I don't, I'm letting down my fellow man. Or should I pack up and bail because it's time to move on? Now, this has changed because it used to be that everybody was thinking, no, man, you can't run away from your problems. You can't desert. Desertion is bad. It's terrible. You gotta stick together with your fellow man. You have to do what's right. You can't give up on things. Our founding fathers wouldn't approve and all that. And I can understand that mentality. I think running away from a fight is definitely not something that you want to do. But recently there has been a shift to a split, and honestly I think the shift might actually be going in the other direction, more towards the it's time to move on side. Now, the split has been going to it's time to move on now for pretty much since the New York SAFE Act, just a little bit after the New York SAFE Act was implemented. I've seen a massive explosion in this mentality, and that is the side that I fall on. I personally think that it's okay to cut and run. Now, before everybody says, no, man, what's going to happen is, oh, something happened. He made it to third. Anyway, what's going to happen is the mentality is just going to spread like a tumor, and if you're not good if you decide to cut and run. And this is what I don't agree. First of all, I'm going to give you the pros and cons of each mindset, and I'm going to tell you why I fall on the it's okay to leave mindset. Okay, for the stay and fight mindset, there is the idea that, you don't want to cut and run from a fight. Plus, you also have the mentality that, the grass might not always be greener. If you leave, you might be getting out of some bad laws, but you might be getting other bad laws. And this particularly is for people that go to, like, Texas and stuff. Well, they might have good gun laws. Some other gun laws are a little strange, like you can't carry in, say, like, churches or something like that. And there's a lot more stupid laws that you need to learn, even though some of the big, shitty laws that we have here disappear. And, like, say, you might go somewhere and they have different laws about alcohol. Like, say, if I went to Pennsylvania, you can't buy beer from a grocery store, which that's strange. But then again, that's going to be a toss-up of what your personal needs are going to be and what you're willing to sacrifice and this and that. Another argument for the you should stay and fight side is, this would not be what our founding fathers would do. They would stay and fight. This isn't what a history would dictate. Well, I mean, there are certain times when they also decided that they needed to retreat, too. I mean, sometimes you have to realize when time is up. Now, as for the cut-and-run mentality, there are also some pros there. And the biggest one, and the reason that I now fall in this group now, is because of the Einstein quote, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's exactly what's going on here in New York. You can only stay and fight so long before you realize, no, this isn't going to change. You've got to smarten up and realize that, no, sometimes there are times when, oh, he's in a pickle. Look at that. Oh, pickle. Tag him! Oh, he fell on his ass. So, they didn't get a run. That's great. But there are times you need to realize that it's not going to change. And as for the line that it's a tumor, it's going to spread if you leave, you're just going to leave them to rot, and then eventually that rot's going to grow. I disagree 5,000% on that, and it has been shown with political action recently. Everybody wants to use this line when they're trying to convince people to stay and not run, and they try to do this for various reasons because they can't get out, they don't have the money. Personally, I don't have the money, but I realize that people are free to make their own choices. I will have the money, and soon enough I will be out of New York. It's not going to be this year, it's not going to be the next year, but hopefully soon enough I will be able to get out of New York. They always say, okay, they make up this lie that the tumor is going to spread. Well, like I said, there's political action that's been taking place recently that shows that's not always the case. If you look at states like Missouri, and I think recently Alaska just did it, they're not getting this completely retarded progressive mindset that people claim are going to spread. In fact, they're doing the opposite. They're putting up defensive measures so that doesn't happen. They're saying things like, if you implement any sort of law banning rifles based on features, or stating that a standard capacity magazine is a high capacity magazine, we will not implement them. We will not have any of your federal laws here. There are some states saying that we won't follow the NFA, the National Firearms Act, if we're not doing federal transactions. If we make a gun here, say I'm in Missouri, and we make a gun here, it's not going to be part of your federal gun control act, or NFA items and GCA items. We're not going to follow that, because we're not doing interstate transactions. So what we make here, we will have our freedom with. We're not going to have you come in and say, oh, you can't have that because the barrel's not longer than this magic number and stuff like that. So I do not buy into the mentality that if we don't squash this cancer, it's going to spread. I think that if we don't squash this cancer, the places that are growing the cancer will fall off and die like an infected knob. That's personally what I think, and they're already starting to do that. If you look at New York, you look at California, look at the amount of welfare people versus the people that work. It's actually greater. The amount of people on welfare is greater than the amount of people that work. You have more takers than makers. It's not possible for that to survive. So eventually, it'll fall off and have some sort of great economic collapse, and everybody else is going to be doing just fine, because they're going to have all the people that are refugees from their state moving to other states. And the other states are going to be doing a lot better, and all I think is that the states that you leave are just going to be getting progressively worse until something changes, or they officially just crap out and die. So that is where I fall. I fall in the it's definitely okay to cut and run mindset. There's a lot of people pissed off. Oh yeah, you're just giving up and stuff like that. No, it's okay to stay. It's okay to stay and fight. You don't want to give up right off the bat. But when you just realize that at every turn, okay, we had 1994 assault weapons ban, and then, okay, it's not time to cut and run yet because that's a federal thing. But then in 2000, it was extended by George Pataki. Okay, I guess it's not time to cut and run yet. Then we have COBIS, and then we have the ridiculous pistol permit restrictions. Eventually, it is okay to run. Because you gotta realize, it's not just the gun laws in places like this. Typically, you get the whole retarded liberal package, is what I like to call it. Whenever you have bad gun laws or other freedom-restricting laws, typically what comes with it is high taxes to pay for these moronic laws and stupid policies that go with them. You typically have high crime rates in the cities. This is the progressive view for America. I can't wait. You typically have massive entitlement programs. I mean, like, you couldn't even imagine how stupid some of these programs sounds that we have here. Giving free air conditioners to families on welfare that can't afford them. My friends whose families aren't in the poorhouse can't afford air conditioners, so they have to share a room with a single air conditioner, or get a cheaper fan or something like that, and they have to deal with that. And you're just giving these people who don't do anything air conditioners. That's just an example. And you always get this liberal progressive package. And you'll have what I said. You have the bad laws. You'll have the entitlement programs and stuff like that. And of course, you'll have cities that are out of money, failing. I live very close to a city that is a complete dump now because it squandered all its money. That's what you get. You get this liberal package, and that's typically what you get. If you move to a state where it doesn't have it, you typically have lower taxes, you have less crime, and the attitude of the people is different. You typically don't have the New York, oh yeah. Actually, that's not a New York accent. That's terrible. That's insulting to the people in New York City, and I wouldn't want to insult them. Yeah, boy, let's go down. I got my favorite pizza place down here, son. I got my favorite pizza place. They make this New York pizza better than that Chicago pizza, man. You won't get a fight about New York, Chicago pizza? Shut the fuck up! Again, not a very good New York accent. I hope it was insulting to people in New York City because they deserve it. Well, most of them. I do have some subscribers from New York City that are, something happened. I don't know what happened. I'm really interested in this game, though. Little League World Series, I love it because I used to play baseball, and it's the most real with Little League World Series. It's not all about money and stuff like that. It's just about the love of the game. It's just the game is 13-13 right now, and it was 2-5, so they've had back and forths, and it's really good. But anyway, so yes, to wrap it up, that is my thought on the cut and run. Should I stay or should I go? I'm perfectly fine with people cutting and running now. Again, I used to be in the mindset that no, you got to stay and fight. You can't bitch out. You can't. But now, no, I totally understand it. If you want to cut and run, in fact, my friend Vinny S914, he just talked to me recently about he's cut and running. Boy, I wish I was in his same boat right now, because again. Insanity, the definition of sanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Fighting back with the retardedness that is the New York State laws and expecting that eventually it's going to stop, they're not going to be retarded anymore. It's insane. Even if we win this New York Safe Act thing, we get an injunction, shit like that, what is it going to be, a year, 6 months until they do it again? And then, it's just... Yes, so cut and run, that's fine. That's my thoughts on that. If you have a different... I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because I must say, this is actually one of those cases where people that don't have to experience it, don't have an experience in the issue, can't really make a fair judgment. Usually it's people... my phone's going off. Hold on, let me silence that. Usually it's people that are affected by it that don't have a clear head, like asking the CEO of a company, the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts, what his favorite donut brand is. Obviously, he doesn't have a clear head because he's involved in that. But I think it's the opposite with this. If you are not affected by this and not seeing what's going on, you would actually be the one that has the skewed opinion on this. Like, if you're in a free state, say you come from Pennsylvania or something like that, you might be the one saying, yeah, no, you don't want to give up your freedom and stuff like that. You got to stay and fight, so the freedom doesn't get taken away. But you don't know what we're going through here. We've actually gone too far that, it's time to cut and run. That's it. Go to a free state. But again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Absolutely don't cut and run. Cut and run. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with me, not agree with me? I'm 100% open, but again, I do fall in the it's okay to cut and run because insanity, yada, yada, yada mindset. So thanks for watching. We'll see where this goes. I don't know if it's going to get, the mentality is going to go further down the cut and run side, back into the stay and fight side. I have no idea. But again, if I could get out, I would be out like that. All right, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Watch the Little League World Series. It's good baseball. Take it easy, guys.